Now, I think I speak for everyone when I say there are no two bigger stars in the Premier League right now other than Mo Salah and Cristiano Ronaldo. Naturally, there will be comparisons and they're both going to clash against each other tonight. All eyes will be on them. And as you saw, Kish, they question Ole, they question Klopp about who's better, right? And naturally, I have to ask you as well. Who do you think is better? I mean, don't look at their overall historical performance. We're just looking at their form this season, going into this game. Who is the better player?
It's not even close, Reem. It's easily Mohamed Salah. It's not even a question. I don't even think Cristiano Ronaldo has been a top 3 world player for the last 2 years at least. I think he has dropped a little bit. It's not to say that Ronaldo is not an exceptional player, but there are obviously limitations to what he can do with his age at the moment, whereas Mohamed Salah is at his absolute prime right now. And I don't think there's anyone else in world football that's playing better than Mohamed Salah week in, week out. And it's not just his performances in a single standalone game, it's his consistency throughout multiple games and his ability to just stand up despite the criticism. And he's doing all of this in the midst of a contract negotiation, which blows my mind even more, because usually players are very distracted, right? So for me, it's not even a question. Mohamed Salah is easily the world's best player at the moment.
Yeah, and Liverpool, what are they waiting for? Why aren't they giving the guy what he wants? You know what I mean?
I think there's a bit of a concern because he's turning 30 soon, right? There's a bit of a concern about tying down a player to a £400,000 a week contract when you're just turning 30. And given Liverpool's ownership under FSG, right? They've always been very sensible and frugal when it comes to managing finances, right? So I can understand why they're a bit hesitant about it, but at this point they've got to do whatever it takes to tie him down, because he's easily not just their best player, but it's not like you can go out there and pick someone else who's going to come in and replace what Mohamed Salah does for you. It'll take time, and I'm not sure that'll be the smartest thing to do at this point.
You say Liverpool are frugal and sensible. United, though, when they signed on Ronaldo, was that a sensible move? Because, as we were discussing earlier, you think otherwise.
I think Ronaldo was an emotional decision. I don't think it's a sensible footballing decision. I think he offers a lot of intangibles like mentality and character, things that Man United have probably been lacking. But his arrival into a position, that particular position, did Man United really need an additional signing? I would argue no, because you had Greenwood, you had Edinson Cavani, you had Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, and traditionally that's more than enough, right? I think Man United had other key areas in which they needed strengthening. But signing Ronaldo was a move that was very much dictated by emotions. And that's, I think, the fundamental problem that I have with the transfer. Because prior to that, every transfer that Man United have made under Ole has been very calculated, has been very smart and sensible. But the moment an emotional opportunity was presented to Ole and the club, they jumped at it, which I think took the club maybe a couple of steps backwards. That's my personal thoughts, at least.
Okay, and you don't think that he has saved the club, versus Atalanta, with his goal? There's been that criticism that Ronaldo has been saving or bailing Man United in tough situations. So
we've seen. It's easy to look at Man United's performance against Newcastle, against some of the other teams, including Atalanta, and see Ronaldo's last-minute goals and argue as to how that has saved Man United. But the reality is, over the last 2-3 years, Man United have clawed themselves out of situations like this, even without Ronaldo. Ole's Man United have beaten City, have beaten Liverpool, have beaten Spurs, have beaten Arsenal, have beaten some of the biggest PSG a couple of times even, without Ronaldo in the squad. So it's easy to look at Ronaldo at the moment and argue that he's saving Man United, but I genuinely feel that even in the absence of Ronaldo, other players can step up to winners' games. Now, defensively, are there issues? In that central midfield position, are there issues? I would argue there are bigger problems that needed to be addressed in those positions.